how's it going, everybody? Today we are building a set of dashboards, and actually, it's going to produce two videos. One of them, the first one, is about a set of dashboard, a two dashboard combo that would serve the demo narrative that I'm creating for my current environment. And since I have this task to do anyway, so I'll just be talking along and probably saving some time on the logistics. So the idea is pretty simple, right? We are setting some demo dashboards, and like anything in demo, it's a mix of fake and real. And fake, of course, refers to things that trigger a scenario, a story in the demo, right? So it's artificial. And the real is the results of the products that we use, right? So that's definitely a way to handle it in our demo as well. And we are going to build a main dashboard as a starting point, and then secondary dashboard for the storytelling itself, although you can argue that they are both for storytelling. So just to recap, what am I doing? The previous demo stand that I had, demo setup, basically had this dashboard, which indicated that, well, if the IT number goes up, you click on it and it brings you into this nice dashboard that shows the status of your current environment overall. And we really like this dashboard in general. But now we need to replace it with one that fits our 10 server environment and maintain some of the functionality, but also, improve a little bit. So we'll go to dashboards over here. And let me see if I have this AOS shop master dashboard. Yes, I do have it. And then let me also see how's my other dashboard is doing. Shop cluster drill down. Okay, fantastic. So we will begin with the first dashboard. Let's see how it works. So just a reminder, all of the yellow triangles next to a widget, it means that the widget is not doesn't have a channel assigned to it. Those that do. So, for example, this one is based on overall events in the previous application. Now, the previous application is going away, so I need to replace it regardless of my intentions. And since I'm forwarding data to BVD, when data goes to BVD, I can perform all kinds of calculations, actually. And now I just need to figure out what's the name. So there is this web server main dashboard forwarding. And just to remind you what the main dashboard is forwarding us in general, this is the main dashboard. Sorry, this is the main dashboard. And it has basically the AOS shop cluster event summary. And I'm going to just multiply the amount of normal events times something in order to beef it up, right? So, for example, and I open the data forwarding because I'm using the tags, right? And to know the tags, I need to figure out what the tags are. Okay, this one doesn't have a tag. Web server, WebMD. Sorry about that. We just had to do a thing. Okay, so this is the shop, the main cluster, and it has shopMD in it. So when I go to BVD, when I search for shopMD, I can immediately access the data channels, right? So shopMD, and I open this page because I just can't remember. So we have the history and we have the pie to choose from. And as you see, the right over here, I know that the numbers are really small. But yeah, so those two channels are very, very similar. One of them is a pie, another one is history. So I choose one of them. Okay, and the data field, I choose that the number of a normal, because when we checked the OBM, we saw that the amount of normal is 28 at the moment. So the configuration in BVD right now, because I need to beef up this number, right? You see that this number should not have like sells for $28. It should have thousands of dollars, right? So what I'm taking the data field and I'm multiplying it times, let's make it beefier. So times 346, something like that. And we will multiply. Now, of course, you'll say, hey, Alexei, I want to see the result. All right, this is the result. So let's see. If you remember, here we had 28, and the sales here is 28. So I need not select this channel. I'm sorry about that, because once you select the data field, it ignores the calculation rule, right? So we'll go here, we'll refresh the page, and we will see the result. Okay, we will see the result once it's loading. Once it loads, I have no idea what it's waiting for. What are you waiting for? Come on. Okay, now it's just empty. So something went really wrong. Something went really wrong. So we'll go with shopMD. And okay, shopMD. And we'll select this one, and it says number of normal. Okay, data field. Maybe I do need to select number of normal. Okay, and apply and see what it does for us. And I don't want to get annoyed. Oh, I'm so annoyed right now. So I need to go to the previous dashboard and see what was done to the data channel, right, on the original dashboard. This is what happens when you just do many things, right? Calculated property. Calculated property. Okay, so the way it works, yeah, now I understand. You take a bunch of channels and you can select what goes into this, and it overrides any other setting, right? So you take one of the channels and you perform all kind of math on it, and now you can insert the calculated property as one of the options. And the reason you need to select it because, well, it's a generic thing, which makes much more sense in multi-channel widgets like pies or something. And now when we sorted that one out, we can go, we can see, if you remember there were 30. Okay, number of sales in the thousands, which is good. Okay, let's see what feeds this one. Memory on a web server. So we'll do the same thing. We're going to say WebMD. We're going to select this one. We're going to select memory. Oh, that's not what we meant. It's a performance dashboard forwarding. So we need to select the performance dashboard. And the performance dashboard, CPU and metrics, it's called Shop PD. Okay, very convenient. So we are going to search for Shop PD, and it's going to be global CPU total util. Okay, global CPU total util. It's going to be a value. It has a chart auto scale, right? We just need it animated. So what this one has is the same thing, but another way. So it's going to be Shop PD. And I'm going to select something else just so they wouldn't match entirely. Okay, probably this one has something else to show, so it's going to be shop PD. Now, why am I replacing perfectly working channels, I'd say? Well, there is a good reason for that. The old cluster is going away, so we do need to replace it, and that's exactly what we're doing. So replacing the channels really fast, shop PD, and just randomly selecting servers, and it's done. Now there are more. So this one shows an event distribution in one of the web servers. Now, because it's going to be more global in this dashboards, we're gonna do actually not WebMD. It's going to be shop PD. Shop MD. Sorry, MD means monitoring dashboard, and it's going to be the pie, and it's going to have actually the data field of number of critical. Okay. And same exact thing goes into this dashboard overall. Shop BD, shop MD by number of critical, right? So the story goes like this. The user goes into this main dashboard, and when the number, and then he triggers some kind of a failure, and when the number goes up in the IT section over here, then he can assert that the scenario has begun, and they can continue forward. Okay. So what I'm going to add to this scenario, number of critical, and this is number critical. I'm going to add and AOS drill down. Okay, it has a drill down. Okay, cool. So let me reanimate this value over here. What it shows, it shows something. Okay, so this one, it's a donut chart, and this one also has donut chart. So we're gonna do the same thing, right? So shop MD, and very important, check your progress constantly. Okay, so we're going to apply, and we are going to review what the changes brought us. Let's see, number of them 11. This circle is filling up with data, and this thing should be filling up with data as well at some point, but yeah, it doesn't have enough history to show for it. Right. And this one shows global and the scale, so we need to replace it once more. AOS, shop PD. Select one of those, chart auto scale. This one is animated as well. We're almost done. Shop PD. Okay, something else. And this one is going to be also shop PD memory. That's for a change goal with memory utilization. Okay, and that's it. Our dashboard is done. The first dashboard is done. And it was a piece of cake. Why was it a piece of cake? Because, well, most of it is just fakery, right? Those small graphs underneath that are not working at the moment because they're not working at the moment. They are assigned to random servers. This number is randomly generated. Those numbers are static, and only the most important things are the IT and the graph, like this one. You see the graph is moving, right? So you know what? To make it more practical, as you see, the graph is moving so fast that it has all of those unpleasant spikes, while the graphic in the background kind of shows a normal line. So we're going to change that as well. So chart period in minutes is going to be actually 60. Yep, why not? Chart period in this one is also going to be 60, and this one is going to be 60. Okay, just to make it a little bit beefier, no, just more pleasant to the eye. This one has chart period in 10, but it's also very, very sharp edges over there, not very pleasing to the eye. And of course, if you would be a customer, right, or a real user of the application, you would not be setting it for 10 minutes with this kind of graphic anyway. So let's make it more realistic. Okay, and this is our very, very first dashboard. And it's just based on some principles that we established earlier, and that's completely fine. Now, it would be slowly filling itself with data, and it's all good. But now it's time for us to go to dashboard number 2, which doesn't exist yet because we need to upload it. So that's very, very cool. And you know what? I think I might cut this video in half or cut it in another variation. So for those of you that are joining here right now, we are about to begin a dashboard creation in BVD immediately after it was released from Visio. So once the dashboard is released from Visio, we would go and upload it. and it's called AOS. It's called AOS Shop Cluster Drill Down. If you can believe it, why 1717? The stencils are changing by themselves. Okay. Anyways, so AOS Shop Cluster Drill Down. That's what it's called. And we click on upload, and it's not an SVG file. Of course, it's not. For some reason, I sorted it by type, and I've been an numpty for a few minutes. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is the dashboard, and you saw its creation in a video, and unfortunately, we have to animate it with 1.5. Yes, this is going to be a very long video, but I'm going to do just one example and not bore you with the rest of it, right? And just to show you the conclusion or the example of this individual dashboard, and you'll get the idea what would happen to all of the rest of them, right? So we have 4 widgets, and those are status image widgets, and we have a graph. Okay, so they need to be precisely attached to what we need. So it's called shop LB. So it's actually the server name is AOS shop. So I can filter it out over here. And it's going to be events. No, it's actually going to be pi. AOS shop. And it might be called something else. So we will check our trusty monitoring dashboard forwarding, and we don't have the monitoring dashboard forwarding. It means that we would be faking the events on this one. So I'll skip to one that exists. Okay, so by scenario, because the load balancer is not included in the scenario animation calculation or control, this is a static part of the dashboard. Remember, we're building a demo, and a demo has a fake data and a real data. So the servers that users are going to torture going to produce real data, and the entourage around it should not be animated, because then you will have unforeseen results, something that you don't control. And if customers would be diverting their attention from what is being presented to something that is not configured or part of the equation in general, then we are not doing a good job. Okay, so here we go to shop web 1. And once we type it properly, we would be able to select the channel better. Shop web 1. Okay, and it's event distribution pi, and that's exactly what we're going to do for all of those and the critical events, right? So this one is critical events. So luckily I can type everything, and it just speeds up the whole process. Let me just check that there is something right or truncate. We don't need this. So it's going to continue like this. Shop web 1 pi. It's going to be major, number of major, pretty fast, pretty impressive. So minor is actually the problem with minor events that they do not exist, right? So it's going to be, the number is going to be 0 at all times, because we are not using them in the scenario, but we do use the normal events. So it's going to be shop web 1, no, not web 2, shop web 1 pi, and it's going to be normal, number of normal. And this one is going to be critical events, so we're going to call it shop web 1 pi, and then it's going to be critical. Come on, browser, be faster. Critical. Oh, I hate it when I cannot type in the data field. Okay, number of critical, chart auto scale, yes, please. And the reason I'm choosing the auto scale, because if it's 0 to 100, it's going to be flatlining over here, because the amount of events that we show in the demo scenario is like 2 to 5. And the reason is you just don't want to overflow someone with information, right? So there is just a dude that sits in a room and he tries to explain to potential customer what the product is doing, right? So sifting through tons of data to show just one thing that makes a point is not a good option. And to us, it means that we'll do a chart auto scale and it would try to adjust the amount of information to itself in case you're new to BVD. Okay, so we click on apply and we will, AUF cluster drill down. We'll open it in a new tab to see how it looks like compared to everything else, right? So there we have it. AOS Shop Web 1 has 12 events and it doesn't have critical events, but at the moment, the graphics has this line in the background that kind of overlaps, but when essentially it would be filling up with more data. So we're fine with that. And let's verify that the information is accurate. So we go and we see that AOS Shop Web 1 has actually 10 normal events and 2 critical events. Let's see if we see the same result. And we see number of events in general, which is good that we checked. So let's see what's going on. Event distribution by, and this too is event distribution by. And something here is not quite right, which is good because now we can see how we can fix it. So let me see the events first of all. Yes, there are 2 events in the overall thing over here. But if we drill down, the drill down might be, no, it has the proper event redistribution. So something is going on. And it's because I connected it to the wrong data channel. Yes, shop web 1. S1 has number of critical, number of critical, and click. And why doesn't it shop web 1? Good. Shop web 1 and shop web 1. Events distribution. Okay, well, what is going on over here? I'm not sure. Let's see. Maybe the data is lagging. Shop web 1 by, and it says number of normal 12. But it should not. WebMD, AOS, yes. Okay, so AOS, shop web 1, MD, number of critical, yes, critical. So I pointed it into a wrong direction, for which I'm sorry. It's always good to verify, right? So the previous result was 11, right? When we pointed our mouse at the data channel, it said something like 11. And what we need to see here is that 1 and 12, right? So 1 refers to this one, and I need to fix the rest of the dashboard. So this more or less sums up the job or the work that I'm going to do on this dashboard. As you see, there are plenty of data channels, 100 and this one to be precise. So I'm going to show you just the end result of the whole thing. You don't need to stay with me watching the whole thing. So in 5 seconds, you're going to see the last result. Okay, and here it is. 100 widgets animated, and this is how it looks like over the other side. Pretty nice, and yeah.
So right now, as you see, the bottom line that supposed to show the amount of critical events over the past hour is not full on many of those graphs. And the reason is because it's not raised to production. So users are not really doing anything to that system. So what you see is just natural movements. So looks pretty nice, looks very, very operational. And in the next video, we are going to have a templated dashboard for mobile devices, which is also very, very different and super cool and completely different methodology for assigning data channels and using it. So I'll see you in the next one.